So I came back the very next day and I'm going to tune my car significantly better than it is running right now. I'm going to tune the air fuels. That is my issue at the very moment because it's running too rich. So I've got to dial that baby in and then I should be having a fun time. And if things go well and if I decide to stay for the whole day, I might even take this car on the road course. That'd be cool. All right, I'm gonna get right into it. I've taken some fuel out on parts that I think is rich. So I'm gonna make a pass, dad log it, and then do another tune. It went 105 miles an hour with just one engine. So I looked over my logs here and honestly, the thing was running perfect. I made one small adjustment since then. I'm gonna do one more hit, but wow, did it ever go. It was a clean run and didn't misfire or nothing like before. It was 105 miles an hour, 0.5. So almost 106 miles an hour with one engine pushing all this weight. Pretty impressive. I'm stoked. So I just turned up the boost a bit and we'll see how that works. Right back into line I go and there's no one in line other than bikes. So I'm gonna have a lot of tuning today. So that time it ran 103 miles an hour compared to the 105. And I did turn it up, so I don't know why it was breaking up, but we will see in a second. I just let her cool down for 5 minutes, and now I'm gonna hop right back in line, see if I can get that whole breaking up problem going away. So what I did was I smoothed my table a bit, and then made sure everything was good for not running so rich. But we'll see how this goes. But honestly, I turned on my boost cut again, and then it started breaking up. So I don't know if things are intertwined or what with the boost cut. I'm not sure. Sweet, so the pro classes have gone, so now it's gonna be test and tune as soon as these bikes go. So I'm just gonna try and get in 2 runs at least while they have test and tune running, because it quickly goes back to like the competitive racing. So what I gotta do is just get my runs in, get my data logging in, and then hopefully move forward in between next when they have their racing going on, so I can let the car cool down and then get ready for a twin engine hit. So what I'm gonna do is run it. I turned the boost down just a bit. Honestly, like we're running like close to 30 pounds of boost here. Fine tuning to do because I've never had it up this high. Back engine's really screaming. The turbos, it's all it can do. So I'm just basically just trying to get to the point where the turbo is still efficient. So I turned it down just a bit. So hopefully I'm gonna aim for like 22 pounds, and then make sure the air fuels are good, timing's good, and then I'll be able to run both the engines. I know the front engine runs mint. I did a lot of street tuning on it. It's perfect where it is. I haven't turned it up at all, but I'll do a hit with the twin engine stuff, and then if I'm wanting more power, I will turn up the front. So that's way down the line, but one step at a time. I'm gonna tune the rear engine. Please don't break up. Breaks off, I might have to replace the plugs or something. This is crap. did just before I made that hit is I turned off boost control. So honestly, it might be boost control that is ruining this. So I'm gonna check over the logs, obviously, see what's going on, see what kVA I was running, and then go from there. I got both engines running. I'm gonna give her a shot. It didn't break up the last pass with just the rear engine, so it's worth a shot to give her both, right? I know I do need to turn up the launch control, but for now I don't want to, just so I don't break an axle. Right, hopefully she's not gonna break up and I'm gonna get a full pass. Here we go. I need more launch. All right, I think I have time for another hit, so I'm going to turn up the front a little bit and dialogue the front engine. All right, so let's look at that pass. It was a really good one. So it ran 132.9 miles an hour, which is moving. The guys next to me, they have a full drag car and they're running like 125 miles an hour and they're running high nines. So that tells you how quick that mile an hour is. The reason why I'm not as quick as that is because I have to shift 5 times, number one, and number two, I don't have a crazy good launch yet. I launched it at 1846, which isn't bad, but for a drag build, it needs to go down. So I need to figure out how I can get it to leave. One way is weight reduction and another way is making more power. So what I think I'm gonna do is turn up the two-step just a little bit, 200 RPM each engine, get her right on the two-step, make sure they're both building a bunch of boost, and then letting her eat from there. It's hot, right? No intercoolers. It ran 132 mile an hour though.
And a headwind too.
Was it headwind?
Oh yeah. Feel it.
No kidding. Yeah. Yeah, the last run, it felt real good. Yeah, it felt like she was moving.
Yeah.
So, and I'm shifting 5 times, right? So well, it's shift. It's standard.
Okay. I've been thinking about you all winter.
Yeah.
Okay? Have you tried putting an exhaust hanger in between the two shifters? Because that still lets it float. And then that gives you one thing to grab.
An exhaust hanger?
Yeah, take a hanger, like the rubber hanger, and just right on top. That gives you something to at least grab instead of both. You know what I mean?
So there's a hole here and then a hole here and it slides in?
Yeah.
But it can still yaw though, right?
Yeah. Like if you left it, if you just had it there, so it could just be free for you to grab it, so you don't like miss it. Well, I mean, I haven't seen you run since last year. I don't know how. But is that a hydro in there?
Yeah. Is that your truck?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've done shit to the engine?
It's tuned right now. It's getting a 6-liter iron block. 6-liter iron block with twins. It's the candy bin.
Ratchet strap bad.
Yeah, she wouldn't go the same way.
What's it run?
16.4.
Really? That's not bad.
16.5 last night.
No kidding. Can it roast the tires?
Yeah.
Is it a V8?
No, it's 6.
No kidding. My dad has the same one. All I've changed is I upped 200 RPM for each launch control, so it should make a little bit more jam out of the hole. So that is good. We'll see what that does. If it improves it, I know I'm on the right track to making a better 60 foot. It's better than just cranking it to like $5 grand or whatever, because right now my two-step's just at 2,700 and before it was at 25. So I've only upped to 200 RPM, see if that changes anything, see if it spins, whatever, right? Go from there. And I had my boost control on the front, 190 kPa, which is no boost at all. I haven't hit it yet, so I just turned up 1 notch on the front engine. We'll see if it makes a little bit more boost. I don't think it will with 1 notch, but baby steps. Don't want to overboost. Don't want it to hit boost cut as well. So, and another thing I didn't say that I did, I replaced all the plugs, and I replaced them with plugs that were gapped tighter. So I'm running 0.025 for the gap, very, very tight, tighter than normal. So that might help the breaking up issue as well. Yep, same thing every time. So as you can see,
the clip was out. Oh,
that one's broken.
And then this one.
That one is completely snapped.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gone.
Yeah. That
So-
one's not there.
Both just kind of snapped. Alright, I got everything apart, no problem. And that's where I need a new axle to go in. So I got this one. I'm using this as a dummy because I have another one of these in the box. So I took off the end. So the end will go in there. But the bearings on these axles are bigger. So it won't slide in to that half shaft. So I don't have a replacement for the passenger side, unfortunately. And here's the other end. And here's the passenger side. It was just a clean break right in the center, which is usually easier to replace because then you don't have to deal with crap like this. And if you break them like this, the wheel bearing gets loose because there's nothing holding the wheel bearing together. So yeah, I don't have a replacement for this one. So that's pretty crappy because I was gonna do road course today too. Today I got my new personal best in the MX3. I got my personal best in mile per hour and braking more than 1 axle at once. So overall today was a huge success. It was over 30 degrees the entire time, and that is hot. My car doesn't have intercoolers, so it was very hot for my car. I didn't overheat. It was actually running amazing. I've turned it up quite a bit to make up for the heat. So if it was a cooler day, it would have actually accelerated quicker from the denser air, because the cooler the air is, the denser it is, and the more power you will make. I wish I did get one more pass in, obviously, why not? I put fresh plugs in it and I ripped her, and I snapped snapped 2 axles right at the line. It dead hooked, and I just snapped everything in its way in the rear engine. The rear engine was making a lot of power. It was pushing 27.5 pounds of boost. That is wild. That is the most boost I've ever ran, even on the dyno. On the dyno, I was like 13, 14 pounds max. I don't really remember, but I pretty much doubled the air going into that engine, and it held no problem, and it was making some jam. Pretty cool. I'm very impressed with that rear engine for sure. So in the future, after I build those 2 engines, Red Ted is gonna get the engine that is in the rear of this car right now, the purple Suicide MX3, because the Suicide MX3 is getting 2 new engines. So Red Ted will be having that 27 pounds of boost monster of an engine in the front. It's gonna be a beast. I'm definitely excited for that. For a street car having like 500 wheel horsepower, that's wild. Another thing that was a huge improvement is I did not miss 5th gear once. It went in like butter. And the reason being is because I took a good amount of time and reset up my shifters. I didn't film it because I just needed to focus on the car and myself and how I wanted it to shift. And when I went underneath the car, there's shifters that come through the floor, 2 of them, and 2 of them were loose. So they weren't 100% snug, so there was a bit of play in the shifters, so that could potentially have been part of the issue. Or I got lucky once once I got it all tightened up with the shifting, but the shifting did work very well. I didn't stress about it at all. Like, it just went in. Because before, it would literally lock me out and I'd miss fifth because I was being locked out. But the last time I was at the track also, I was trying to no lift shift into fifth. That's when you literally leave your foot on the gas in between a shift, and that wasn't allowing me in, but it was allowing me for all the other gears. Got her home safe, truck's here. So now I've got to figure out what axle I use. So what I did when I built this rear setup is I used axles that are 1/2 inch shorter because I wanted big tires to fit. So I shortened my control arms and I installed shorter axles. So here's my pile of screwery, and here's a half shaft of an MX3, and here's part of the half shaft I pulled off the car. And what I thought I would have been able to do is take apart an axle. This is a broken one, but I took it off just to try and see if it would fit in there. But it's not a big enough hole for the bearings on here. So that's not working. And right now I can't find anything that has a small enough bearing like this one has to fit in. And this is the one I broke on the passenger side. As you can see, it's definitely broken. And it needs to be the right length, and it needs to have the right bearings. Like, I do want to buy a whole axle with this part that goes onto the half shaft, but I don't know which one would work because it has to be 28 spline here, 26 here. So I honestly don't remember what I did. From what I remember, this is an MX3 driver's side one, ripped apart, but this is also an MX3 driver's side, but it's too big to fit in there. So I'm so confused what this axle was out of, because that's how I got this whole setup to work in the rear engine. So it's not just all MX3 parts. Like, I'm using stuff from, this is a Cephia axle. I use Cephia axles. This is a Kia Cephia, sorry, on the driver's side rear. But on the fronts, I use normal MX3 ones because they're wider. But I know that probably doesn't make sense to anybody, but it does to me because that's the way I built the car, because I wanted the back end to be more narrow. So I'm in a little bit of a cluster right now. So I've got to figure out what this came off of, or I need to just get a bigger piece that goes on the half shaft so I can slide in my Cephia axles that are much thicker. As you can see, this is thin, that's thick. This is much thicker, and I need to, like, the best thing for me to do is find one of these that will fit into there, and then I will have a stronger rear axle, or passenger rear axle, because this one's obviously really thin. So I've got to do some research here and figure out what ones I did use. But honestly, like, I could order a MX3 driver's side that has a small bearing and it would work. I'm pretty sure that's what this is, but why not find one that has a larger bearing like this one, so it'll be stronger and stronger shaft. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. Like, it's not like a big upgrade or anything, but it's something, and I'm buying an axle anyway, so I might as well just figure this out. So I'm really caught up here. I will figure it out, but thanks for watching. It was a sick day. I will figure that out about the axles. I've been trying to figure it out tonight so I can order them and then have axles for the next week. But there's no rush either way. There's lots of stuff to do in the car or whatever. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. I think I just found my answer here. So this is a brand new Kia Cephia automatic driver's side axle, okay? I know, really confusing on how this whole setup works, but this is brand new. I had it in a box, so I'm assuming that's what I ran. So I just took off the clamp here, because this is for the driver's side. This would go on the left side of the car, but on the right side, it has this stupid half shaft thing. It's actually a great design, but all right, let's remove that. So now I've got these bearings out, and it does fit. Let's bang it in there. Hold on. So look at that. She fit right in. I don't know why there's so many different sizes, but I think I did figure it out as long as the length is correct. So I'm just gonna take it out right now and put it beside the one I broke. and it does look like the right length. So that's good, because I do have another one in box and I bought it by accident. Or whatever. I bought it on purpose a long time ago. I don't remember, because there's so many weird things about this car. But anyways, I'm gonna try it. All right, so hear me out. So this is the Cephia axle that I broke. And I know these are Cephia because they're half an inch shorter and they fit on the driver's side of my rear of my car. I know it's confusing, but follow me. So I tried to fit it into my half shaft connector thingy-mabobber, and it didn't fit because these bearings were larger, because they're larger. Just that's the way it is. So the other day I ordered 2 brand new driver's side axles that are from a Cephia. Same thing in the box. And the ones that fit in to the back here that I just put in was a Cephia driver's side axle. For some reason, they're different. And the one I put in is also narrower. So I don't know why. Same car, smaller axles, smaller bearings. And it matched this one perfectly. And I've ordered the same ones as these, but this one didn't fit in because it's larger. I'm so confused. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what is going on, because that one worked, but that one won't. But like, it's obviously different because it's thicker. Look at that compared to that one. This one's much thinner than this one. And this is a Cephia driver's side axle. Anyways, this is bullshit. I'm calling it quits. Do it later. Last time I'm saying it. See ya. See you in the next one.